Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are happy to introduce our new version of the Transparency Catalog, version 3.0. And for those of us who are not familiar with the Transparency Catalog version 1.0 launched at Greenbuild in October of 2016. There's been a lot of evolution along the way, and we'll save that story for a longer webinar. Today we're going to focus on what's new and how we continue to make decisions about what to add to the catalog to meet the goals and objectives. The Transparency Catalog from day one, since it launched in October of 2016 at Greenbuild, was always designed to be a specification tool, because ultimately, to get higher performing buildings built, higher performing products need to get into the spec, and then they need to be purchased and installed in the building. And so there's a lot of people involved in that process. So everyone involved in that process, not just the people who are doing research and selecting products, not just the people writing specifications, not just the contractors, not just the subs, all of those people need to be able to have access to a single tool or a single platform that provides continuity of data and workflows that allow everybody to be on the same page about what the intent is for product selection and the intent for the performance of the building. Product transparency is a complex space, and even as it continues to evolve with more green building rating systems, more certifications and disclosures, it's very difficult for manufacturers to keep up. It's been difficult for them to get started, and really it's challenging for them to keep up. But we've seen that those manufacturers who have responded to the market demand from the design and construction industry to be transparent and disclose the environmental performance and material health of their products, those manufacturers are continuing to grow, win new business, win new customers, and credibly improve the environmental performance and material health of their products, which is what people want to know. Because you can't just claim that your products are higher performing. That data that's being disclosed in the documentation needs to be telling that story, and the manufacturer needs to know how to explain what the data means so that story rings true with the people who are looking for actually higher performing products. So to make both of these participating communities come together, Sustainable Minds has really focused on radically simplifying the delivery of products with transparency information to ultimately make it super easy for architects, engineers, contractors, and owners to find those products and those manufacturers using the tools, the methods that they already use, meaning MasterFormat, which is the standard numbering system for building products industry and how specifications get written. And we've made it super easy for manufacturers to get their brands, their products, their documentation in front of the most motivated specifiers, selectors and specifiers in the industry. So, and now particularly in this age of COVID and no face-to-face meetings of any kind, investing in digital strategies and digital marketing is the only tool manufacturers have available to them right now. So continuing to make it simple to get their brands and products in front of highly motivated selectors and specifiers is what we continue to do in our advocacy for building product manufacturers. So with that, what's new in V3? It's kind of a big deal. We are continually adding brands. Today, there's over 1,500 brands in the catalog. That's every building product manufacturer in North America who has invested in one or both types of product transparency documentation. There are now manufacturers and products in over 25 MasterFormat divisions, the most commonly used MasterFormat divisions, and now over 800 MasterFormat sections. You'll see how we've made it really, really easy to find a single manufacturer in a specific MasterFormat section, or 3 manufacturers who have similar or the same products to get 3 into a spec, whether you are familiar with MasterFormat or not. And that's what you're going to see in version 3 is new tools integrating search to enhance the ability to use MasterFormat when you're not familiar with it, and even better when you are familiar with it. We've added some new filters beyond what you would expect. Brands, rating systems, MasterFormat. These new sections, these new filters help people looking specifically for products with EPDs for the new Buy Clean California regulation. We've introduced that, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And advocacy, we've started with highlighting the manufacturers who have been participating in the Living Product 50 group that has been convened by the ILFI, the International Living Future Institute, where these manufacturers have pledged to continue to invest in product transparency and to make it easy for people to find their products by putting their content into publicly available platforms. And in response, the AEC industry wrote a letter back. So there was a letter written by this LP50 group and sent to the industry in 2018. In 2019, there was a response from the AEC industry saying, hey, we're going to support you in this. We know we need to specify your products that you have put a lot of effort into creating transparency for, and that is exactly what the transparency catalog has been designed to do, is to make it easy for people to find products and specify those products with transparency to reward those manufacturers for making them. So we've really been kind of living and breathing that intent since the get-go, and we're very excited to be able to just very simply highlight those manufacturers and make it easy for those of you who do want to support those manufacturers and respond to that pledge, make it easy to do that. We've had the Declare API integration completed for a little bit of time now, but are just telling people about it. So last year we integrated the Declare, the HPDC API, and now the Declare API is integrated, which means that you're going to be able to find every single manufacturer with Declare labels, and now with living product certifications. We continually update the catalog now through the API, as well as, again, last year we added the HPDC API. And so every manufacturer with HPDs and the HPDs are also available in the transparency catalog. A few other things in this release. We've started to add the 3-part specs from manufacturers to each of their sections in the catalog for which they have products with transparency information. So it's one click to download the spec. We've added the transparency catalog to the GBCI Better Materials site, which it's on the roadmap to be the site where the GBCI will make it easier for you and for them when you're working on a lead submittal package to know if the documentation has already been approved by the GBCI rather than having to go through an approval cycle for each one every time. We also have, and this is not something you're going to see, but we'll be reporting out more frequently. We've built more detailed usage analysis tools on the back end so that we can continue to understand what are people looking for, what are the most popular MasterFormat divisions and sections where people are looking for manufacturers and their products, And now, because we have the APIs implemented and a lot of our data processes in place, our data team now has more time to spend with manufacturers to enable them and us to update any content they want in their listing. And those of you who are new to Sustainable Minds, just to be clear, manufacturers do not add their own content to the transparency catalog. We have a data team that curates and manages all of the data, and we have a very streamlined process for how manufacturers add their products, as well as their contact information, the documentation, and also get access to training and other marketing tools that are part of the annual subscription. And we will be doing more webinars specifically for manufacturers to talk about how to get your products into the transparency catalog and the value that you'll derive from doing that. We chose for these launch interviews to not have separate, these launch webinars, to not have separate sessions for manufacturers and separate sessions for AECs. And that's because both communities really need to hear the participation required and that's being looked for by each community. It's important that really each community understand the pain points and the desires of each other and kind of throw in together to achieve this ultimate goal, which is to build actually higher performing buildings and reduce the impacts of the built environment on the natural environment and human health. The last update that we are announcing is that we, in our maintenance of the transparency catalogs, North American PCR catalog, we're now adding all PCRs in development. And that's really kind of a big deal because you don't always know about when a PCR is in development. We don't even always know about when a PCR is in development. But as there's more demand for EPDs, and manufacturers want to know, how do I get started? You can't get started until there's a PCR. So knowing what's happening, what's coming, that's important, and we'll make it a little bit simpler for new PCRs that need to be created to get those started. So let's go right into the demo. This is what the transparency catalog looked like a week and a half ago. We've had the MasterFormat filtering since January of 2019. And we kind of offered that as, hey, let's get going, use MasterFormat filtering. But really the core of the catalog is each manufacturer's listing, which I'm going to show you. Here's the transparency catalog looks like today. Only the top of the catalog front page has changed. We're offering new, really more powerful, integrated filtering and search tools. You're still going to be able to see every single brand that's in the catalog, get access to their listing from the front page. And so let's just jump right into that demo. All right, so here we are at the live transparency catalog. And as I mentioned, just the top of the page has changed. You're still able to see every single manufacturer in the transparency catalog. And that's always been our intent from day one, is to make it easy to find what you need in a glance. And also just to see the depth and breadth of manufacturers in the industry who are investing in product transparency. So to get started, you'll find that there are a number of sites that you show up and there's a big search interface right there at the top, and you're not really necessarily sure what you're going to get when you use search. And so I'm going to bring your attention right at the get-go that this question mark is going to tell you how our filtering and search works. and how you're going to get the best results based on the task that you're trying to accomplish, so that you're not going to screw around and waste a lot of time trying to figuring out, well, how do I find what I actually need? We've given you some pretty good guidance here, but it's pretty easy to figure it out as well. So typically, a scenario might be that you're doing research on a project and you need to find 3 manufacturers with similar products to get into the spec. So you're going to come to the front page and say, okay, show me everything in Division 7. I'm going to work on Division 7. Now you could select the section from the front page. Let's do it. And then we're going to say go. So one of the things that's new is we've made the MasterFormat filtering window a little bit bigger so that you can see more in a glance. So those are all the MasterFormat sections in 0720, and you can see there's 69 brands and 414 products. So now there's a bunch of ways that you can continue to filter down to find just what you want to see. So you can always paginate through and look at everything, but you can use any of these filters in any order, again, based on what you're trying to accomplish. So a user might say, great, I'm really only interested in 0720 thermal protection. So I'm going to turn off the sections that I don't want to see right now. And we've designed the filter to work this way for 2 reasons. One, so that users can find solutions to potentially the same specification that they didn't know the products even existed, but also to find brands that they didn't know existed. So you actually have to go through and turn off what you don't want to see to leave what you do want to see. So it's still a lot of brands. It's 42 brands. It's 152 products. The user might still say, I'm not looking for fluid applied. I'm not looking for sprayed. I'm just going to look at these 4 types. And at this point, the user might say, well, let me just see what brands those are. And you can go ahead and select each of those brands that you might want to continue to research. Or you might say, well, I'm working on a lead project, and so show me all the manufacturers that have EPDs for products in this MasterFormat section. And you can see it's still 23 brands and 78 products. Then you might say, well, I just want to see which manufacturers are going to give me more bang for the buck and also have material ingredient disclosures for the same product. So now you're down to 4 brands and 52 products. Notice that Knauf Insulation is a member of the Living Product 50. So if that's a manufacturer you want to support, you can see right there that they are that. And so is Owens Corning. And you can scroll through and see if any of the others are. You might say, I know that Owens Corning has more products than just 0721. Let me see all the products that Owens Corning has. And so from the filtered results, you're going to be able to go right back to the manufacturer's listing and see all of the products in every MasterFormat division and section they have, as well as access to all of the disclosure that they have for each of those products. Remember, this is always going to be a link to the manufacturer's website. So manufacturers don't have to manage a lot of content about their products someplace that isn't their website. We think the website should be the single source of truth. But all of these are now findable and downloadable here. We also help people understand what the levels of disclosures mean. So there's a lot of built-in content. This is going to take you to the LP50 site. You can see we've added their product master spec, 3-part specs. You can click there and download the spec. And you can also see that we've added the EC3 tool, embodied carbon results, the comparative result, and we have this handy tooltip that actually is compresses the 50-page methodology document for the EC3 tool into this handy tooltip to explain how we're showing the comparative result from the EC3 tool of this EPD, the embodied carbon in this reported in this EPD compared to all the others. And then if what you want to do next is go into the EC3 tool and work on a project that you're modeling and do comparisons with other products, all that is right there in a click. And by the way, if you've come in through the EC3 tool and you get down to the manufacturer's EPD level, all of the manufacturers in EC3 tool then have a link to the transparency catalog, which literally connects the last mile of user to manufacturer to find all the documentation, be able to contact the manufacturer, get the spec, all the stuff to complete the intent of getting higher performing products into the project. Now, I'm going to go back to the front page and show you some of the things that you can do in an alternative workflow or use case. And let's stick with the theme of Owens Corning. So if you're a specifier, and this is actually something, this is a true story. This actually happened when we were testing the product in the alpha phase. VP of specifications from a firm who had signed the materials pledge said, hey, you know, people do like to specify products from brands they know. And if they're trying to be quick about it, then they're going to stick with brands they know. And so he said, what this enables me to do is literally in one click say, I'm working on Division 7, and I want to see all of the products from Owens Corning in Division 7. And so now what the results are showing is just exactly that. It's all of Owens Corning's products, but only in Division 7. And again, you can go to the listing to see all of them. Now, you never have to go back to the front page once you've started doing your searching. You can start however you like. So you might say, so you always want to clear the filters to make sure you're getting clean results. So you might say, you know, looking at the new stuff, I want to see who all those Living Product 50 companies are. And you can click there, and you're going to see there's 55 brands. You'll be able to go to the brand filter and see all of those, click on them, just look at their results. Or then you might want to say, all right, well, it's good to see us, you know, companies that I'm looking for are in there. So now let me go to my MasterFormat selector. And now I'll only see those Living Product 50 companies that are in Division 9. So there's 27 manufacturers who are Living Product members. So it's a lot of manufacturers, a lot of products, and then you can start drilling into the MasterFormat sections that you're looking to select and specify products. You can see by selecting flooring, that brings it down to 17 brands, 360 products. You might at this point just say, you know, what I really just want is, for example, rubber flooring. Let me just put in rubber and see what I get. And I didn't spell that right. So what you're going to get is every single manufacturer now in Division 0960 with the word rubber either in the name of the product or in the name of the MasterFormat section. So that's what's explained here. You're going to get access to that same how to use filter and search, how it works, so you're not surprised by any of the results that you get. So once again, you get to use any of these filters in the order that you would use them to just skinny it down to just the stuff you need. Let's say you're looking for a brand and you've tried all these different filters and you can't find them. And then you're wondering, are they even in the transparency catalog? This handy all brands at a glance allows you to say, let me just go see if they're in here. And so maybe the company name starts with the C. It's going to bring you right back out here to the front page, to the CD section. And all you have to do is look to see if they're there. Or easy enough to just go, oh, I'm looking for, picking a company. Are they in there? Yes or no? And we have now this search field in the header, which is persistent. So if you go to a manufacturer's listing and you're done with that, you might just say, well, I want to go back to the filtered results. So let me just go back to floors. And you can, again, continue to filter using a keyword or go use the MasterFormat section. Again, however you like. So that's the demo I have for you today. I just want to remind you that the transparency catalog is always free to use. There's no login. Tell your friends. And for all the manufacturers and all the AECs who are on this call, which should be everybody, we are happy to spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes with people in your company to do a similar demo and to focus in on specifically the things that you're looking to achieve. So thank you for attending today, and let us know what's next for you. But please use the catalog and select and specify products from manufacturers who have invested in product transparency. Thanks so much and have a great day.